Welcome, everyone. My name is Jennifer Bento-Pinion. I'm here at MEFA on the college planning team as program manager for MEFA Pathway. And today's webinar will focus on the loan cost calculator. So if you are not familiar with MEFA Pathway, MEFA Pathway is a complete college and career planning resource for students, parents, educators across the Commonwealth. It's offered to all middle and high schools in Massachusetts free of cost by the Massachusetts Educational Financing Authority. MEFA Pathway plays a key role in the Commonwealth's efforts around college and career readiness and success by increasing access to information about higher education and career opportunities for all types of students. MEFA Pathway provides access to academic and professional success to learners in grades 6 through 12 across the Commonwealth by setting each student on a path to college and career success. So rather than a one-size-fits-all approach to future planning, MEFA Pathway is tailored to meet the needs of the Commonwealth's diverse student and workforce populations by offering comprehensive tools and one easily accessible website. So again, today there are many features within MEFA Pathway, from building and creating a resume to a career search, a course planner, financial literacy components. Today, again, we'll focus on the loan cost calculator. So here we are and just at the end of this webinar, I will put up a contact slide. So you'll have my contact information along with the test account that I accessed during this webinar, free to use if you like. So here we are on the main landing page of mefapathway.org. So as a student, you would come into this page and click I'm a student. So as a first-time user, the registration process is very simple. First name, last name, date of birth. The student selects the state, city, or town their school is in. And then once they do that, a corresponding list of schools that are in that town appear. So the student then submits that. The second page brings the student to where they would create a username, a password. They create 2 security questions. So if they forget their password, they can reset either by the security questions or they also have to put in an email address. So very basic information. You know, it takes the students maybe 1 to 2 minutes to complete the registration process. And once they do that, they just submit that, and then they'll have created those credentials. So when they come in, they just put in their username, they put in their password, and they click submit. So again, I'll give you these credentials to my test account at the conclusion of this webinar. So the feature that we are going to focus on is located under the Pay for College tab. So just to show you quickly here, this is the student's dashboard. So my test account is that of an 11th grade student. So she's been super busy in the site. It shows progress here. And then as we scroll down, these are suggested activities for a grade 11 student. So our grade 11, we're suggesting that they're updating their profile, they're creating a resume, they're maybe retaking those assessments, and so on, exploring careers, and then maybe searching for colleges and scholarships. We also have a highlighted featured scholarship that we change up every couple months, and then our video series, which is awesome. We've done this for the past 3 years now, where we go to a couple different schools and we actually interview live a couple students, and it shows they talk about their journey to college. So that's just something to check out. All right, so we're going to go to the Pay for College tab here. And so underneath the Pay for College, there are a number of different features that the student can take advantage of. But again, we're going to focus on the loan cost estimator. So the loan cost estimator is a tool that's great to use. I mean, you can start showing this to students very early on. MEFA offers a number of loan programs, but our guidance and education are based on helping students make smart financial choices and decisions. So this tool can help start the conversation of what taking loans out for education purposes looks like. A lot of students don't, and parents as well, don't. We hear about it a lot in the news that students get into a lot of financial strife because of loans they've taken out. So it's really important for students to, at the get-go, way before they even consider taking out a loan, what they're getting into. We also, before taking out a loan, we also suggest that there are many other things to look at. There are scholarships for students to apply to, maybe getting on a payment plan with the college prior. Of course, any savings that can be, thrown towards the education. But what we'll do first here is we want a number. So we want to get a loan amount to look at here. So we're going to go back to the college cost calculator. So this college cost calculator, a lot of our students use this when they've actually received their financial aid award letters. So they pop in the schools that they've been accepted to, and then they can add in any scholarships they've received, grants, work study, and it calculates out an annual cost gap, and then it will calculate out a total 4-year cost gap. So I always point the student to this page first so they can just get an idea of a number. So let's just look at this edition here. So this is a student starting at Springfield Technical Community College, and then they're transferring to the UMass Amherst, and they're taking advantage of that Commonwealth Commitment Program. So they're paying, according to the calculations, their annual cost gap is $10,000, just under $10,000 a year, and then their 4-year cost gap would be a little over $36,000. So we're taking that $36,000 number. And let's round it up to 40 because we don't have any, we don't have books in there. We don't have maybe health insurance. So let's round it up to 40. So we're going over to that loan cost estimator, and we're going to plug in $40,000. And so, I always, when I'm working with the students, I always remind them that, no, you're not going to school just for 1 year. Depending on what program they're in, it's either 2 or 4 years, more than likely. So you want to plan for 2 or 4 years. So we're going to look at that 4-year cost gap. And then they're telling us the typical student loan interest rate is 5%. So we'll pop that in. And then I always start out with looking at 15 years to repay. So once we do that, we have the system automatically generates out the average estimated monthly loan payment, which is just a little over $300. And then after 15 years, the total amount you will pay will be just a little under $57,000. So the student took out a loan for $40,000, but after the interest and over the course of 15 years, they're paying a little under $17,000 in interest. This is the piece that I don't think a lot of students realize. So now I always take the student back and say, okay, well, let's look at taking 10 years to repay instead. So although the monthly loan payment is a little bit higher, after 10 years, the interest is lower, significantly lower. So these are great conversations to start having with students. The whole interest thing is kind of a mystery, I think, to a lot of students until this is brought to their attention. So then, to further look at the what can you afford as a student? You've gone your 4 years to school, you've graduated with a degree. Let's say you've gone to school and now you're a graphic designer. Let me spell it correctly. You're a graphic designer. The system pulls in from ONET, which is what we use on our career platform here, pulls in the projected annual salary. So based on that monthly loan payment, your career choice, and your projected annual salary, we're going to calculate out the affordability of that loan. So we're saying that based on those numbers, that payment, monthly payment, won't be stressful. So, the student before they really start thinking about careers and whatnot, they can mess around with this to see, what careers would support their education too. So another great conversation. All right. So that wraps up the loan cost estimator feature. As I said, I will leave my contact information so you have it. If you have any questions or comments, certainly do not hesitate to reach out to me. And along with that, we have the login credentials for the test account that I went into for this webinar. So feel free to go in and peruse the site on your own. And don't, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out. All right, I'll leave this up for a minute so you can jot it down. And have a great day. Thank you for joining today.